Hi, welcome to On This Day in Tudor History with me, Claire Ridgway. Now today I'm taking you back to the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. For On This Day in Tudor History, the 3rd of September 1588, or possibly the 5th of September, actor and clown Richard Tarlton died in Shoreditch. He was buried in St Leonard's Church, Shoreditch. Tarlton was a member of the Queen's Men, but is famed for his post-play jigs as a clown. Let me tell you a bit more about this Tudor clown. Now, very little is known of Tarlton's beginnings, but in his History of the Worthies of England, published in 1662, 17th century churchman and historian Thomas Fuller wrote that Tarlton was born in Condover, Shropshire, and that his father was a pig farmer there before moving to Ilford in Essex. Tarlton's will states that his mother was called Catherine and that he had a sister called Helen. Robert Wilson, who was a fellow member of the Queen's Men, wrote of how Tarlton was a water carrier in his youth. In 1570, the name Richard Tarlton appeared on the bottom of a ballad on the late great floods, which caused problems in that October in Bedfordshire and Lincolnshire. At some point, Tarlton moved to London, and it's thought that he joined the Earl of Sussex's company of players in the late 1570s, and by 1583 he was a founder member of the Queen's Men Company, playing parts including Derek in the famous victories of Henry V. He also became a freeman of the Company of Vintners in 1584, kept an inn in Colchester, a tavern in Gracechurch Street, and an ordinary in Paternoster Row. In around 1585, he wrote a two-part comedy for the Queen's Men called The Seven Deadly Sins, which was popular at the time, but no copies of it have survived. In 1587, he was made Master of Fence, so was obviously accomplished with the sword. He also served as a groom of the chamber. Now, he may have acted in plays, but Tarlton is best known for playing the clown at post-play jigs. Tarlton's biographer, Peter Thomson, explains that these jigs were essentially raucous afterpieces framed as short farces and that they featured sexual misdemeanour and cross-dressing. He goes on to describe Tarlton as the master clown of the jig and states that Tarlton not only played the clown, but he wrote his jigs too. He obviously had a gift for cheering up Queen Elizabeth I, but he was regarded as being able to undumpish her when she was unhappy. And Thomas Fuller wrote that her highest favourites would in some cases go to Tarlton before they would go to the Queen, and he was their usher to prepare their advantageous access unto her. 16th century historian John Stowe, in his Annals of England, recorded how alehouses used pictures of Tarlton to advertise themselves. Tarlton so beloved that men use his picture for their signs. Tarlton married Thomasin Dan in Chelmsford on the 11th of February 1577, and it appears that she died in December 1585. Tarlton was survived by his mother Catherine, who he appointed as an executor of his will with his friend Robert Adams, and he was also survived by his 6-year-old son Philip, who was named after his godfather, poet Sir Philip Sidney. Tarlton's will was concerned only with providing for his young son. Tarlton's Jests, a jest book which was circulating from the 1590s, told anecdotes of Tarlton along with his witty sayings and pranks that were associated with him. Tarlton is said to have influenced William Shakespeare's creation of the character Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream, and to have served as a model for Yorick in Hamlet. Poet and dramatist Thomas Nash wrote of how Tarlton's audiences began exceedingly to laugh when he first peeped out his head. And Sir Richard Baker, author of A Chronicle of the Kings of England, recorded for the clown's part, he never had his match and never will have. An interesting man. Also on this day in Tudor history, the 3rd of September 1592, Elizabethan writer and playwright Robert Greene died in London. Green is best known for his pamphlet Green's Groat's Worth of Wit, Bought with a Million of Repentance, which he wrote on his deathbed and in which he attacked Shakespeare as an upstart crow. You can find out more about the man and this pamphlet in last year's video. You'll find a link to that in the description. Thank you for joining me today. You can subscribe by clicking just about there, and please do. You can hit the bell to be notified as these videos go live, and you can leave a comment and give me a like. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.